determination, passion, stamina, and the will to win. The end result, the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Extreme Motorsports brings you the Ricmotech Sports Car Series, brought to you by Ricmotech High Performance Sim Racing Equipment, and in part by TD's Tree Service. Live coverage Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Hello everybody and welcome to Apex Racing TV for round 6 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series from the Sonoma Raceway in California. Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Andrew Woodhouse alongside our Racing World Championship driver Alex Simpson. But first, Adam Bath and Adam Sonoma. The challenging track, and I believe we prepared a track guide to show everyone how to do it.
Yeah, we're in vineyard country in California, and I tell you what, the temperatures there seem to be replicated here in the commentary box. It's very hot here in the UK at just after 2 a.m. in the morning. But yeah, let's find out what's going to happen. Let's find out what it takes to tackle this 4-kilometer circuit, the Sonoma Raceway.
Welcome everyone to Sonoma Raceway, located here in Sonoma, California. Great to have you with us as we provide you your track guide today in the Ford Mustang around this 2.2-mile road course. A road course that broke ground in 1968, and its first race was an SCCA Enduro event held on December 1st of that same year. This course is a real challenge for drivers with its 12 corners and 160 feet of elevation changes. We are in for a ride. As we get going here, moving up onto the front straightaway out of turn 12, a short straightaway here at Sonoma. We cross the stripe and approach turn 1, a slight left-hander as we come out of here, wide open up the hill. Going to lift on throttle, get that car to the left because this is going to put us into turn 2, a very tight right-hander. Real careful coming over that crest there with the throttle. This will bring us down into turn 3. Want to let that car roll up over the crest. Blind entry again. One of the toughest corners, turn 4. Right-hander that drops off, easy on the throttle. Back down another hill into turn 5. Very fun section here. Up over a blind entry into turn 6. More of a carousel type turn that brings you downhill to the left out onto the drag strip of Sonoma. The longest straightaway here at Sonoma. And not a very long straight at that. Into turn 7, down through the gears, into second gear. This is a double apex 180. Very difficult turn to get right. A lot of overtaking opportunities back there at 7. This brings us into the famous S's here at Sonoma. A lot of tricky footwork to get through here. Into turn 8, the car roll back to throttle, up over the crest, up through the gears, down into turn 9, fast left-hander. This brings us into the sweeper. Turn 10. Getting back to throttle there. Bring us down into turn 11, a hard 180. Heavy on the brakes. Drivers will look for overtaking opportunities on entry back there. Up out of 11, through the gears, around turn 12, and this will bring us back out onto the front straightaway. That is your track guide for Sonoma Raceway.
And welcome back. And that's the way to get around the Sonoma Raceway. And we've seen many drivers do that successfully, thank goodness, in the qualifying session. Bring in, like I say, our Racing World Championship driver Alex Simpson. And Alex, it was fairly close to the qualifying session today, and several drivers out there looking to register their first win of the season.
Yep, looking forward to this one. I do like a bit of Sonoma, actually. It's a good circuit. I'm trying to remember where I did it. I think it was the old IndyCar 2005 model that we did a lot of racing around this circuit with, and that was a whole load of fun. I think I have tackled it with the FW31 as well. That was quite good fun. Of course, it was decent amount of downforce there, so coming down the hill, that long left-hander is pretty epic in that. So yeah, this will be a good one, and it's good to see the grid quite close.
And Adam, like myself, a bit of a connoisseur of circuits and layouts and things. I believe this is probably the best layout that they have here at Sonoma Raceway. None of those daft little chicanes that they see, say, on the IndyCar layout.
Yeah, I think we've got it really spot on here. I think it's a layout that the World Touring Car Championship used when it briefly came here a few years ago. So we should be in for a good race. 12 corners, 4 kilometres. We're running through the championship standings as well heading into this race meeting. We've got a full lap of the formation lap, so we've got a bit of time on our hands here, and it is a dead heat at the top of the title. Mikey Grams and Tyler Schiffler both there. I think the only thing that separates them, as I get the driver stat sheet that's been kindly provided to us for this race meeting, the only thing that separates them is the fact that Mikey Grams has 2 wins compared to Tyler Schiffler's 0. Third is Mike Dam, who was only 4 points behind. Then it's Pasquale Iannucci in 4th, Stephen Thomas in 5th, Jeff Jacobs, who has made us in the Apex commentary box very jealous. He was at Le Mans at the weekend. He's off to Spa for a track day tomorrow, and then he's off to the Nürburgring. So, yeah, we're very jealous here. I hope he has a good time. So that's why he's not racing today. Next up is Clint Vigus, who is not racing today. I will find the reason for that in a moment. The reason for that is
he's out for the rest of the season now, isn't he?
He's out for the rest of the season.
Work duties, so have kicked in. So yeah, unfortunate that we won't see him, but he will be back, I believe.
Well, boo his boo to them.
Season 9, yeah. Lauren Bateman is in 8th, then 9th Russell Ruddock in 10th Matthew Gutierrez. You can expect to see them move up the order during the rest of the season. In the open category in the Mustangs, by the way, it's Ruddock leading Brooks, Monaghan, Griffith, Burgett, Brist, Kennedy, Bader Jr., Motta, Marshall and Tibbets. Moving into the MX5s, we've got Rob Hartley leading John Allen, David Payton in 3rd, Brian Holmes 4th, Ash Beard 5th, Tom Rathje in 6th, Andre Saunders 7th, Tyler McFarlane in 8th, and Travis Schwenke in 9th, then Richard Losberg, Chris Torman, Carrido, Stevens, Fitzgerald, Stancianelli, Key, Taylor, Fike. That is the order in the open category. We're halfway around the pace lap, so we'll quickly run you through the grid now. We haven't got much time. Mike Dam is on pole, Mikey Grams in 2nd, so the top 2 in the... So Mike Dam 3rd in the championship, 1st on the grid here. We'll be hoping to close the gap on Grams and Griffith. Stephen Thomas in 4th, Kevin Ford, great qualifying from the admin in 5th. Pasquale Iannucci in 6th, Russell Ruddock 7th, 8th Tyler Schiffler, 9th Scott Kennedy, 10th Brandon Whitworth, 11th Michael Ruddock, 12th Leon Wright, 13th Mike Monaghan, 14th Lauren Bateman after not setting a time in practice, 15th Scott Brooks, 16th Murphy Casilla. Then into the MX5s, it's Peyton on pole, the Canadian, then 2nd Brian Holmes, 3rd Tom Rathje, 4th Rob Hartley, 5th Ash Beard. The 2 UK and Ireland drivers there braving the heat here in the evening. 6th is Chris Torman, 7th Dan Carrido, 8th Geordie Fike, 9th Mike Taylor, 10th Dave Fitzgerald, 11th Kip Stevens, 12th Michael Key, and starting in the back in 32nd place, 13th in class, it is Edgar Sancinelli.
Alright, thanks very much, Adam. Just the hairpin to go before we get this race underway. Pace car is in. Actually nearly as hot in the United Kingdom as it is in Sonoma at the moment. So, no matter who you are, pretty difficult out there.
Green, green, green!
For Mike Dam, things really appear difficult. Here he goes. Hits it now as the green flag flies. The track formerly known as Sears Point. Mike Dam is at the point, up the hill. For the first time, he keeps the advantage over Mikey Grams, and then it's Mike Griffith side by side with Stephen Thomas. Behind them, it's Iannucci and Kevin Ford, and then it's Russell Ruddock and Tyler Schiffler side by side. Very, very good start by the Mustangs. And then in the now, Alex, the MX-5 starting.
Yep, here we go as well. Being very patient, waiting till they get right up to the line before they hit it. Yeah, good sportsmanship there, because some of the drivers could have gone. Obviously, the green flag has come out, but yeah, good clean start from everybody as well. Spaced out quite quickly. I expect this pack to stay very, very close to the whole race. Up the hill, it's always tricky. Usually you see if there's going to be an accident, it's going to be around there, but again, everybody through, nice and clean the first few corners. First sector done.
I think they're waiting until they get to the line, Adam, because I think the way turn 1 is, because it goes left then right, I think Hayton didn't want to risk anyone getting alongside him with a slightly longer run.
Definitely, yeah, because usually it doesn't go too well if one car decides to lunge up the inside going into the first right-hander at the top of the hill. Blind entry as well, so drivers could get caught unawares if any of the cars were spinning. And Alex, after what we saw last week at Watkins Glen, a pretty clean start to the race.
Yeah, that's what we wanted, wasn't it? It was a bit unfortunate the last time out, and yeah, it took a little while to get sorted out, but they got there in the end. And yeah, this week let's hope for a clear track for a little while. Of course, in and around this area, there's a lot of places where you can just bounce off of the walls as well, back onto the racing surface, and well, not surface, but the racing line. So could well see another safety car tonight if we get a big one, that's for sure.
Sideways coming over the top of the hill was number 17, Mike Griffith, and he's currently lying in 3rd position. Stephen Thomas very nearly ran into the back of him as he got all bit out of the shape. Then behind him is Pasquale Iannucci, then it's Kevin Ford. We spoke to Kevin during the week. There's no pressure then for him to win, is there, Alex? He needs to put his money where his mouth is.
That's it, exactly.
It's a shame for Mike Griffith. He's he's in 3rd position here. He's only had 1 top 10 to his name this season. It's quite remarkable, that statistic. But yeah, that is what's happened to Mike Griffith. I'm sure he'd be higher up the championship order if he'd just been able to get to some of the finishes and not had some of the issues here. Doing well in the early going, still a long way to go, of course, 57 minutes, but good start so far from Mike Griffith after reasonably good qualifying.
Yeah, we drove the car, Alex, the Ford Mustang, that is, in the commentary challenge, and what do you think?
Both in the commentary challenge, actually.
Well, I'm the MX-5 as well, but do you think? To me, it doesn't seem like a track that really suit the Ford very well in that car, because there's a lot of direction changes and it's not the most nimble car out there.
No, indeed, and a lot of elevation changes as well. And so, yeah, not just speaking to Kevin in the week, he freely admits that it's a bit of a beast. Certainly, other cars that could be picked, but worked well with replicating the series that they're looking at. So, but yeah, so this one's going to be a tough one, I think. Dealing with some of these high curves and things like that. It's very bumpy in places as well. Fortunately, they're not using the awkward little chicane, because that's got a heck of a bump in there. So
horrible layout, that.
Oh yeah, that one just not my favourite at all.
And this is by far as well, Adam, my favourite version of the hairpin, the one that the NASCAR teams use, because to me it's a much better corner.
Definitely, yeah. That short one that comes up pretty quickly is rather annoying. And you really don't know what left line to use, really, because you've got that whole area on the exit that you could use. Thankfully, yeah, this hairpin, and it also creates more of an overtaking opportunity as well, this final hairpin. And the drivers, as we see in the NASCAR series, were able to throw some moves up the inside. We hope to see that here. You can also see on this long layout that that right-hander on the back section of the circuit now becomes a double apex right-hander. I think the IndyCar used the tight right-hander instead, so we're using a different layout there, and now going through the long sweeping right-handers that you usually see on the NASCAR Cup course, and back down the hill through that long left-hander. There's that pesky chicane that Alex always goes on about, and then into the penultimate corner on our way to the onto the final hairpin.
Yeah, it's not actually a particularly long lap, Alex, even though it's the long course here. It's only 4 kilometres long, and these.
Yeah, I can't remember what the lap time was we did when we brought the Williams around here. It was ridiculously short, I think. So, good fun, that's for sure.
Even though it seems like a track where there's a lot to do, it does go by quite quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of it flat out as well. Well, not so much in these cars, but some of the high performance downforce cars, so the Indy cars, all through that Estes section, completely foot to the floor, a little lift here and into the hairpin. But so much of it you really attack.
This is a good section that leaders are going down at the moment. Mike Dan lunging down the hill, first through that big long right-hander and then a left-hander which pretty much almost mirrors that one, and long one onto what is a drag strip here.
Yes, it is.
The circuit, and there's a couple of different configurations of hairpin at the end of this road as well.
Yeah, have you ever done any drag racing down there? Because it is possible to get onto that drag strip and have some fun in some posted sessions.
We've not actually. But,
well, I've done a few of those. Yeah, you should definitely try it. I mean, unfortunately, there's no lights. You've got to count it in, but it is good fun nonetheless.
Alex, I've just done some digging for you. The Williams FW31 Sonoma Raceway, the long configuration, which is what we're doing here. Fastest lap time ever done on the iRacing service in that Williams is a 1:07.3. Done by the likes of Jake Sturgis and Gregor Husu.
There's some good drivers there who set those times, so too bad at all. Didn't you once go around Alex, was it Bristol, and set a world record in there, that FW31?
I don't know if there's actually been an official session there for me to classify it as a world record, but yeah, I think I hold the world record there. So I can't remember what the time was. Sub 10 seconds, I think. It was ridiculous.
Oh dear. Well, the NASCARs go around there quick enough in about 14, 15 seconds or whatever it is. So it's very fast. Is there? To be honest with you, gents, there's not a great deal going on out there on the circuit at the moment.
Everyone's being very processional at the moment, aren't they?
It's not often we say that after about 10 minutes, is it? But
Griffith and Thomas probably looks like.
It's good that I believe nobody's retired from the race.
That's the good thing, yeah. Everyone's the only person who hasn't taken the start is Roman Bader Jr. I presume he's just the admin for the race. But yeah, at the moment, Griffith and Thomas, they're probably the closest battle in terms of Mustangs at the moment. Last time around, Griffith 44.5, likewise Stephen Thomas, and Iannucci, who's one of the cars to gain a position since the start of the race, looking a bit lively as well in the early going. So we've got a 4-car train here going into the hairpin, into something A or something B, which is usually the naming of the corners around this circuit.
I must admit, I've given up on that. I don't even have a track map open today because I've seen how they name these corners here, and I don't fancy it, to be honest. But no, it's good. Don't get me wrong, it's very good that we haven't had any retirements, but do want to have a little bit of a dust up out there, surely. And there might be one for the lead in the MX-5s actually very shortly, because David Payton coming under a bit of pressure from Brian Holmes, and
partly up the inside, but we'll have a compromise line on the exit here. Raf J probably knows that and allows Rob Hartley to have a lunge up the inside there. You can see Rob Hartley's teammate Ash Beard is there, 2-time BSR Mazda MX-5 Cup champion. Don't know if he's defending it. He probably is defending it this season. That series kicked underway again on Sunday night. Are they going to make any moves into this final hairpin? No, they don't. Raf J losing that third position in class. Rob Hartley, a man on the move, up 2 positions already in the Mazda MX-5s.
And this looks like it's shaping up to be a pretty good battle actually for the third position, third, fourth and fifth. Holmes is very close to Payton now, and again it's all about trying to set him up for one of these slower corners to try and dive up the inside maybe. You can do that here at the end of the straight in the middle part of the course. You can have a dive into that double apex right-hander, but he feels confident enough on the brakes, isn't it, at this point?
After the amount of retirements that we had at Watkins Glen a week ago, I'm sure that'll be playing in the back of some of these drivers' minds, and they'll be trying to make sure they can get to the end and get some points on the board. A lot of key drivers didn't score too many points last week at Watkins Glen, so they'll be making sure that happens. Overtake on the circuit. Scott Kennedy has just done a move on Russell Ruddock. Scott Kennedy up the inside into the hairpin, looks pretty straightforward, and he's now through into 8th position. Ruddock now down 2 positions tonight.
Ruddock was a tiny bit offline through one of those fast right-handers at the end of the lap, and good opportunistic driving actually by Scott Kennedy. And it's races like this, Adam, where really, if you see a tiny opportunity, you really have to go for it, because you're not going to get many.
Yeah, indeed, definitely. And yeah, around this circuit, as we've seen in the early going, it's going to be the slightest mistakes, maybe a bit of dust on the tyres, maybe just the slightest bit of offline going through the corners, and yeah, you could lose a position. And Scott Kennedy there gaining that place up into 8th position now, not too far away from Tyler Shiflett, the gap about just over 0.8 of a second, and then Kevin Ford 2 seconds up the road. So Kennedy will try and push on for a spot inside the top 7. Still closer, you can see just up the road though, Griffith, Thomas, Iannucci and Kevin Ford all locked together. That battle for 3rd position looks set to rage on for the rest of the 48 minutes left in this race.
Yeah, very, very close battle, and then even behind them, Tyler Shiflett, Scott Kennedy, Russell Ruddock is fairly close as well. And that's one of the reasons, Adam, why I'm really enjoying this new Formula 1 season, because I feel that the drivers are going back to a time where they don't get many overtaking opportunities and they have to try, and when they get a chance they have to try for it.
I think we've seen this season how hard it used to be to overtake cars. We've been used to what DRS is in its 6th season now.
I was going to say,
Formula
this
1.
is easier than it used to be as well, and people are forgetting that, I think.
People always cry out for us to return to the days where overtaking used to be tough. Some don't seem to like it now, but I'm definitely enjoying what's taking place this season. Of course, F1 returns to Baku this weekend, plus we had the 2018 calendar published as Griffith goes a bit wide on the exit there, turn 2, returning to the likes of Paul Ricard in France. Unfortunately, we've lost Malaysia off the calendar, but we also have Hockenheim returning, and also a few bits and pieces in the gossip columns of Imola possibly being given a chance of returning to the F1 calendar after Charlie Whiting gave it the seal of approval to host F1 Grand Prix in the future.
That'd be nice if we see that again. And but yeah, I'm sure I've seen. Alex, are you back with us, by the way?
Yeah, we're back up and running, and I've posted the new live timing link issues there, which we'll have to look into.
I'm sure that some of those people who were moaning about overtaking being too easy last year or the year before, I'm sure some of those are the same people who are moaning now that there's not enough of it. Can't win, can you, really, either way?
Well, no, you can't.
And one thing's for sure, I think it's been pretty exciting so far this season, and yeah, I hope it may continue. Baku is one where you're definitely going to get some overtaking on those big long straights. Yeah, I hope they can do that. And Brian Holmes now, in his pursuit of David Payton in the Master of 5 category, is just dropped back a tiny bit. It's only a little bit, Adam, a couple of tenths of a second, but just means he's not right there underneath his exhaust pipe.
Yeah, it's good to see that we've got lead battles in both classes, haven't we? Brian Holmes and David Payton here. Payton doing a good job. Leon Wright's dropping down the order. Looks like he's coming to the pits. That is very early for a pit stop, to be fair. 45 minutes still on the clock. So, yeah, I don't know what's happened to Leon Wright, but yeah, he's in the pit lane now.
Not like he has any damage, does it? But do what he can do. It might be that he can make it from here. So he's just decided to come in, do his stop now, maybe where the track's not quite as congested. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't see any damage.
Yeah.
No other reason why he'd be coming in now, would there? Apart from that he's seen an opening, maybe.
Yeah. I've been watching a lot of rallycross recently, and Leon Wright might just be doing the Joker here, get himself out of the traffic, out of the congestion, and put in some good laps, and might find himself a bit high up the order towards the end. Similar battle for the lead going on in the Mustangs as well. Mikey Grems and Mike Dam both separated by just under a second. Grems did have the gap down to about 4 tenths a while ago, but seems to have stretched open on slap.
This is quite a long stop for Wright, isn't it?
Yeah, 42 seconds, 43, 44. Oh, problem for Griffith. Looks like the floodgates might just be starting to open here. Thomas is through. Iannucci might fancy his chances as well. He wants to try and get through. Oh, nearly runs into the back of Mike Griffith as they go into the penultimate corner.
There's the hairpin to come. Like Kevin Ford's on the outside. Contact Iannucci.
Oh dear.
Just hits Griffith. Griffith having to avoid those tyre stacks on the inside. But yeah, Iannucci with
Mike Dam's lost the
a
lead
little
as
bit
well.
clumsy.
With the going through the final corner, just seeing what happened. Oh, Dam lost it. lifts up the rear tyres, and that was just enough for Mikey Grems to eradicate that gap and go through into the lead.
Well, we've seen that Grems has been quick all season so far, and showing there that really it's going to be a force for the rest of the season, and just to take that chance again to get past Mike Dam, who usually doesn't make a lot of mistakes. A bit disappointed actually that Cliff Vigus isn't going to be here for the rest of the season. He's always a driver who's pretty entertaining to watch, especially in the second half of races, as we've seen. But Alex, as is so often with sim racing, other commitments can kibosh anything that you're doing.
Yeah, that's it. And I think the thing is, as always, you've real life comes in the way, doesn't it, of sim racing? So.
Well, that's the thing. It's not a professional sport, so we don't. Fortunately, until we get to the days, hopefully we do, of drivers being able to make a living off it, then we are going to see things like that happening. I remember in the V8 Supercar series that we were covering, the Euro V8 series last season, one of the drivers who was contending for the title didn't even turn up to the last race because he had something like a family issue or something like a meeting or something that he had to go to. So it's one of those bad coincidences that can sometimes affect a championship, but we've got to remember that that can happen to anybody out there.
Yeah, indeed. We had a good long debate, didn't we, about
happened to us,
the evolution, or how we would like to see sim racing go and get it into a more mainstream e-sport with drivers can compete and commit some real time, because there are some really good rewards out there.
Developers are trying. You see so many of it now. You've got always a battle for the lead resumes in the Mustangs. Mike Dam already trying to wrestle the lead back away from Mikey Grems there. You see it with the World Touring Car Championship have started their own esports series with Race Room, formerly Race 07, Race Injection Race On and all that, and Formula E as well. Forza have been doing online championships as well, I've seen the last few weeks. So the developers are trying to push it out as much as they can.
I'm firmly of the opinion that always a bit of traffic for the leading Fords there, but I think there's going to be a change here into the hairpin. I don't think Mike Dam's close enough this time, but no, I think of all the esports, Alex, I think we've mentioned this many times, is that it's got to be the closest one, the closest discipline that you can get to a real life sport being recreated in e-ball or a gun or whatever that they're doing. Whereas here,
this is the thing. They're not recruiting. They're not recruiting people to the army, are they? From the esports.
No,
exactly.
They're definitely not signing people to football clubs, are they? No.
No. Well, actually, so this is the thing though. They are signing players to the clubs to compete on their behalf.
Esports, though, yeah, but not on the pitch.
Exactly.
Sim racers can actually progress, and these, like the McLaren competition that's out there now, actually given the opportunity to get, an actual sort of a career out of it and maybe some potential drives. The GT Academy, look at how successful the first couple of years of that were. It's just it's crazy.
And there's a great video on iRacing's YouTube channel of Jaime Eski, who he's going to be running the NASCAR Nationwide series, and he's basically he honed his skills in super late models on iRacing on the short tracks. Basically, he was saying with a laptop on his desk, a bit like what I used to do, and he got a drive in Darrell Waltrip's brother. Saw him
Michael.
Racing, and Bobby, I think it was Bobby Waltrip or something. Saw him racing in karting, and said, "Oh, you're not going to get many races, so go on to iRacing. It's the best way to learn the cars and the tracks and things." And he developed doing late models on iRacing for years and years until he got a drive in late models a couple of years ago, I think, and he was impressive in that. And now he has a nationwide series debut coming.
Nice.
Absolutely fantastic. Sorry, an Xfinity series. Sorry, I've got to get that right for the sponsors, of course. But yeah, it just shows the power of iRacing, because when he went to, I think it was New Smyrna, and he said that when he was going down the pit road there, it was like he'd been there before, even though he'd never been there before. He'd done hundreds of laps on iRacing, and that is, as far as I'm concerned, we are the only esport where the skills can transfer over. and that's why we should be one day, I think, just as big, able to get all their products, and some very, very good products out there, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. Got some great pedals and all sorts of things really up for grabs, little mods and whatnot. So yeah, head on over to their website, ricmotech.com, to check all that out. But yeah, I mean, it's just as important for those guys, you know, that it tries to break into the mainstream. You know, that's where, you know, they're gonna make some extra cash and sustain their businesses, isn't it? So you know, it's important for them to push forward. So yep, this fingers crossed, everyone, and you know, we see something happen. It's certainly taken a step forward with the amount of broadcasting we've seen in the last 3 years compared to what it was the 3 years before that.
As well, we've met a lot of those people. You know, we were at the Sim Racing Expo in Germany, and a lot of us are going to be going as well in September. So of course, if you are there, come and say hi to us. We'll be milling around the place, and but a lot of those people, you know, the amount of effort they put in, they're really passionate folk about their products and about the industry and whatever. And it'd be great to see them become rich people out of this. You know, it'd be fantastic, because a lot of them, they really deserve it.
There has been a pit stop. Pasquale Iannucci, who was in 4th position, has come into the pit lane. 16-second stop, very early as well. Should just be about to make it home from there. I think 38 minutes or so is the magic number, I think, so we can get home. He's just got going in 16th place now.
Yeah, right, it was 100 seconds, by the way, in the end, so some issue for him.
Oh, how on earth did that happen, I wonder?
Plenty of other drivers as well that run the iRacing service. Many NASCAR drivers, we always see them in the iRacing All-Star race that happens every year. Moving over there for Iannucci was just getting out the way. That was Leon Wright, who Alex was just mentioning there. Super long pit stop for him. Now a lap down. Ash Sutton as well in the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship. Even though it might not be his Subaru that he's racing, he definitely gets a lot of practice on the tracks that series goes to. Also, Mitchell de Jong. I was watching him in a rallycross race from a few years ago. Famous iRacer there. As off goes. Just goes Ryan Tibbets. That's Iannucci for another position.
Tibbets in 15th, now 16th place there. But yeah, that's one of the best things about iRacing, isn't it, Alex? That you can jump on, and chances are, if you're good enough, or if you're catching one of them on the way up throughout their iRacing career, you're going to meet a professional driver, and the likes of Rubens Barrichello are flying around. You know, you sometimes see people like Will Power or Timmy Hill or people like that around. You know, so there's a lot of talent out there.
Yeah, you're right. It's great for us that we can interact with them. I mean, I know Rubens does an awful lot of races, and I remember specifically having fun with Power when he come on, and I can't remember where we Sebring, I think it was. He asked us for. I think he struggled with time, and I shared him my setup or something like that. So here, setup to try, and obviously thanked me for that as well. And he asked if we were how many push to passes we were using, and we were like none. He was mashing that button down wherever he could. Just couldn't get close to the time, so that's always fun.
But yeah, that's the thing, but you know, I mean, guys like Simon Pagano giving it a go, Sage Karam. I'm probably missing a good few out, but there's a lot of drivers. Jose Maria Lopez was doing. We covered one of his wins in the IMSA series at him last season.
Oh, he did. The names do crop up, don't they? More pit stops.
I think more people are realising though that iRacing. I mean, our mate Graham Carroll. He's one of the guys who he said that real racing is so expensive that essentially a lot of drivers turn into iRacing just to get that feel of competition, Alex, and without having to pay those hundreds of thousands of pounds and dollars in some cases.
That's it. Sorry, Adam, go on, you were going to say something.
I was just going to say, yes, the pit stops have taken place. Just 33 minutes to go. Stephen Thomas has just come into the pits as well, so it'll be interesting to see where he comes out in relation to Pasquale Iannucci. Mike Griffiths. Mike Griffith also in, has been in, I should say, 15.5 second stop for him. Russell Ruddock also in, Katila, Michael Ruddock as well. And
Iannucci very close to Griffith.
Griffiths, yeah, they come out
well.
just 0.4 of a second apart. So
yeah, they come into the final corner. Thomas has been in the pit box now for 10 seconds. This could be close.
Not going to be long.
you have to get rolling, otherwise he's going to struggle.
20-second stop is a long one. So yeah, he's going to get past it.
Both
Very
sets
long.
of tyres, I think some of those guys might have took less. They're way clear. 14. Iannucci was 16 seconds. So,
Yeah, Thomas 5
Griffiths,
seconds
yeah,
behind
yeah,
after the pit stop.
Mike Taylor pitted as well from 28th place. Is anybody else in at the moment? No, they're not. So, Edgar Sancinelli's in pit road, but he's already several laps down actually. So,
I'll tell you what, you consider
See
we're
what happens.
halfway through this race. The MX-5s are not that far behind the leaders, considering they haven't pitted yet either. So
shows how much better the handling is for them.
yeah, exactly.
Take
I
them
mean,
out of
we've got Grahams. Where's the pits? No, he's not. So, and where's Peyton? So, yeah, Peyton's still.
Still
the
leading.
fight for position with Matthew Taylor, isn't it? Taylor's got through,
It is,
but
yeah,
Peyton,
yeah,
that's fairly.
He obviously
You-
has pitted.
You can see that David though has got so much more speed through the corners than what Taylor's got.
Yeah, let's go on board just so we can, so we can see sort of where he does close in through this lap.
We'll probably struggle a little bit.
Hugely going in
after
there,
this.
massively. So all through that corner, and of course loses time down this straight. That's the thing. You see that.
But he might be able to.
Drive away.
I reckon he'll close in through the S's though when he gets.
Yeah, quite possibly.
When they come out of here, because the Mazda's good through the slow stuff. So yeah, look at how much tighter line he's able to hold, and then possibly through this S's section. If you can just nail that. Definitely got more grip though, but the sheer power of the Mustang is quite a powerful car. It doesn't have
it is.
massive straight line speed, but we were hearing from Kevin Ford the other day something I didn't know for sure, at least, that the Mustang Adam runs on sort of like cut slicks, almost like street
Road
tyres.
Yeah, road tyres. Yeah, that's what he was
Peyton's in
telling
pits.
us. Into the pits,
Tom
yeah.
stays out.
Into the pits did come Mike Dam. So 23.1 second stop for him. He looks like he changed 4 tyres, and yeah, the leader from the MX-5s and David Payton as well.
Dear me, Rafji nearly spun. Either that or he was getting an unconventional line coming out of the hairpin. Oh no, he definitely lost the rear end. Just cost him about a second compared to Rob Hartley there. Ashley Beard's very close to him as well. Very, very close up the hill. Look at that. Nose to tail almost. Where can Ashley Beard find a way through? Like say BSR MX-5 champion, reigning and defending. What is that there? That's Rafji, and that's an illustration of what we were just talking about, Alex. Is that Michael Monaghan got through, lapped him on the straights, and then was holding him up in the slow corners.
Mikey Graham's in. That is from the lead. Lauren Bateman in as well. Where's Mike Dam in all this then? Mike Dam is just coming through the left-hand
Oh,
kid.
it's going to be close here. And Mikey Graham maintains that position. But Mike Dam's got that rhythm of having a couple of laps out there on his own. Look at the speed he's carrying. Canadian, very aggressive at the moment. I wonder, Adam, if he's going to be able to have a go into that double apex corner, maybe after the next left-hander.
Well, both of these drivers have taken 4 fresh tyres, it looks like, so they won't have to worry about tyre wear in the 34-degree heat on the track. But yeah, Mike Dam fresher in the car after the pit stop. He's been on his stint now for 1.5 laps,
He's dropping
1 lap
back.
extra. Just dropping a little bit back, yeah, indeed. The gap is just half a second here after the pit stops.
So Mikey Graham's, Alex, using the benefit of those soft tyres, those new tyres, sorry, to good effect, and he's going to have these couple of laps, isn't he? A bit like a honeymoon period where it looks quite pretty, everything looks pretty rosy for him, and he might start to struggle with the temperature afterwards.
Yeah, possibly. I think Dams is going to be pretty close throughout this run anyway, just like we saw. The whole first run, there's nothing really between them, so...
Yep, and...
it's all about not making mistakes, really, and that's
Scott
what
Kennedy
Dam did earlier on, wasn't it? You know, so keep that clean. I think the driver that can work the traffic best is the one that's going to come out on top here.
Kennedy's in. He was in second place, but of course he's going to drop down the order now.
This leaves Shiflett now, who's yet to make a pit stop. Scott Brooks as well, another Canadian. He's also yet to come into the pit lane. Who else? Robert Brist. Those are the Mustangs. Matthew Gazilla has come in. So just two more Mustangs. 3 more Mustangs that are yet to come in.
I wonder if Tyler Shiflett just was using those laps to try and get a little bit of extra bit of clear air and a little, try to get a few decent laps in while he was out there. Brandon Whitworth's been in as well, so he emerged just behind Shiflett. Where does Shiflett come out? Shiflett came out behind Russell Ruddock, so that's quite a way down, isn't it?
Yeah, 9th place is Ruddock at the moment.
Yeah. 24 seconds stop for Ruddock, actually. He's in the pit lane.
It's not a great race for Shiflett so far, is it?
Tyler Shiflett, who's going into this race meeting as he gets the point settings up. Shiflett was joint top, of course, of Mikey Grams. Hadn't taken a win yet this season, however, been in the top 5 4 of the 5 times, and have been in the top 10 for every single race. So yeah, this is not going his way, especially with Mikey Grams, the championship leader, joint championship leader, up in second position, while effectively the lead once Shiflett comes in.
Pit stops going on in MX5s as well. David
Hartley
been in. Hartley around there as well. Hartley's not having such a strong race as well. Of course, another one who's fighting for championship lead just doesn't seem to be suiting him this track. Lap times are off the likes of Peyton and Holmes.
Although he is going to get out ahead of Rathje. It's not all bad for
comfortably
Hartley.
1.4. Yeah, I mean, he's still looking at a good, strong sort of top 5 finish, I would think here.
But you're right. It's not. He has normally excelled at the very, very front, hasn't he? And yes, it's not at the moment. Dan Carrido, I believe, hasn't pitted yet either.
Neither's Ash Beard.
In fact, he's ahead of this. He's ahead of the Mustang of Ryan Tibbetts. Actually, you can see behind him.
Yeah, just in front of him, about just a second or so. Ash Beard yet to come in, as those two are teammates. Interestingly enough, we usually see the 3 teammates of Hartley, Beard and Holmes at the front in the Mazda MX-5, safety and numbers and all that. But not seeing that here today, as Brian Holmes pits from the lead in the MX-5s. Brandon Whitworth also into the pits for a second time, so might not have fueled the car up enough, or may need to serve a penalty. 19-second stop either way.
Important stop now for Brian Holmes. Alex, it really is. He's missed his pit box. He had to reverse back into his pit box, and surely that means he's not going to come out in front.
Been on it. See how it goes. Where is
Peyton's
Peyton?
coming around the final corner.
There he is. Yeah, there's Ash Beard. He's going to pass him easily. Ash Beard is still in the pit box. He's not going to get going.
Holmes is away. Oh, it's going to be closer than I thought, but it's going to be...
There's the pit lane line.
It's going to be reasonably close, but Peyton goes through, and if he hadn't have had to reverse into his box, I think they might have ended up side by side coming out of the pit lane.
Yeah, 2 seconds difference between them. That is literally just it. The actual stationary stop time, 17.8 seconds. So it was quicker than Peyton. So the pit stop was nailed. Just the execution, unfortunately, lacking.
As it should have been, by the way, given that Ashley Beard and
oh dear,
Tom Rathje were getting close and personal there.
Stephen Thomas has had a spin on the exit of the final corner. He's gone onto that lovely bit of infield. And he's got going again. No positions lost, I don't think. Just an awful lot of time.
Yeah, fair bit of time. He's still ahead of Scott Brooks, who's currently running in 8th position. Ahead of Russell Ruddock and Scott Kennedy, actually. That's a good little battle, isn't it? And with just over 20 minutes remaining here tonight in the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series, round 6 from Sonoma, California. Andrew Woodhouse Adam Bath and Alex Simpson with you here on Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live. Thank you for joining us here on this now Tuesday morning.
Good little battle going on here.
Goes
This
Ruddock,
is
Ruddock going through on Scott
that's
Brooks.
the one.
and Kennedy going through as well, so I don't know what happened there to Scott Brooks. Got down 2 positions very quickly.
This MX-5 here going into the double apex hairpin. The two
Because the
Mustangs.
MX-5's probably quicker through there than they
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? That is who is that behind us? That's Dan
Dan
Carrido, the man who currently sits 7th in class. Geordie Fike comes in the MX-5s as well. I think that pretty much rounds out the MX-5 stops. I think Michael Key is just the last one running in terms of drivers having made a pit stop. Here comes up the inside of Carrido. It's Russell Ruddock. Through he goes. Looks like Scott Kennedy will try and get held up as least. Oh, he nearly runs into the back of him there as they go through the right-hander up towards the hairpin.
Still only lost 2 drivers so far in this race. Edgar Sancinelli and Kip Stevens. I believe Kip Stevens was a disconnection, so
Yeah. I think so.
That's one for him. Sancinelli still in the pits, so I'm not really sure what happened to him in the first place, to be honest. Did we see that?
Sancinelli? I didn't see it, no. Been in the pits twice.
Mikey Gren's pulling away from Mike Dam now, by the way, Adam. About 1.5 seconds now. And it's looking very, very good for car number 44.
Yeah, 1.3 seconds, like you say, the last few lap times have been pretty good. Sorry, Adam, to cut in there. Shiflett still hasn't pitted, guys. I mean, this is really taking it to the
21
extremes.
laps.
It means his stop's going to be short, though. Oh, he had pitted.
No, he's not pitted. Top 7 positions.
Oh, it wasn't him that pitted then.
Michael Ruddock and Scott Brooks both being the most positions. I think that's because Brooks has just been in to serve his pit stop. Katila runs for him now, but yeah, with 21 minutes to go, and with Tyler Shiflett, we're just waiting for him to come in and serve his pit stop. The order's like this: he leads, Mikey Graham 2nd, Mike Dam 3rd, Mike Griffith in 4th. He's in a right good battle here. 3 tenths ahead of Pasquale Iannucci, and then just a few tenths ahead of Kevin Ford. Those 3 have been together the entire race. Then Stephen Thomas 7th, 8th Russell Ruddock, 9th Scott Kennedy, and 10th Lauren Bateman.
Iannucci was thinking about having a go into the hairpin, but it's one of those situations where he doesn't want to overcook it because Kevin Ford is very, very close and will capitalise on any mistakes.
Worth pointing out as well that David Payton's caught back up with Brian Holmes, so was 2 seconds back, but now it's under half a second.
Holmes is going to have to watch out then because Payton has looked quick this season. But yeah, he's going to try and right onto the back of him, maybe into this right-hander at the end of the straight. It's funny, I keep talking about the right-hander at the end of the straight as a possible overtaking opportunity, and in theory it is, Adam, but nobody's had a go into there, I don't think yet.
No, not really. No, they haven't. Maybe if they were using that other layout on the left-hand side, it might be more of an overtaking opportunity, as it's more of a conventional hairpin. But yeah, Payton and Holmes. That's it again here. Last time around, Holmes 47.4. Payton did a 48.6, so it looks like it's been a poor lap so far by Brian Holmes, the Foxfoot car with the purple rims on the car. I think that's the with the roll cages here again. He's the one with the blue roll cage.
Oh, Payton.
Having a little look, isn't he? Looked from the chopper there. It looked like there was a bit of room. And that's given him a bit of a poor exit, though, to be fair. And Brian Holmes was able to stretch the legs a little bit as Shiflett finally pits from the lead.
Yeah, that was a very fast right-hander that Payton had a look into. Nothing doing there as there rarely is. But yeah, Tyler Shiflett in. And as you can see, actually, Mike Dam and Mikey Grem's coming along. Mike Grem's actually coming up to the battle we were just watching, the MX-5 lead. So as usually happens, Adam, in this series, classes coming together at the end. Interesting, they're both battling.
Yeah, the 2 leaders in both classes here, the Mustangs and the MX-5s, both duking it out here with just over a quarter of an hour to go. And yeah, both probably have the same gap to separate them. And here come the 2 leaders in the Mustangs now. Hopefully they don't get cut adrift when they're lapping David Payton and Brian Holmes. Yeah, Mikey Grams and Mike Dam now starting to lap the front runners in the Mazda MX-5s here in the final final quarter of the race.
Both David Payton and Mike Dam are going to see this as a chance, Alex, because we always go on about traffic management here on Apex Racing TV, and still every chance that someone can take a real chance in these situations. Payton not wanting to give up any time, is he, at all, to the Mustangs who are going through to lap?
Yeah, no, not at all. You have to do it the hard way through the
Look at
S's.
that.
And all of a sudden, Dams really has got an opportunity. Maybe a dive into the final hairpin.
Payton might be able to do that as well, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that was quite remarkable seeing David Payton just breeze back by the Mustang on the exit of the hairpin.
They're not playing around, these two Master MX-5 drivers, and this could be a chance for Mike Dam here. Having to defend is Mikey Grems.
Got to get up the inside of Payton, isn't he? Payton's losing out here now. Here come the two Mustangs.
Sideways, goodness me. But now surely the Ford's got the power to go past the Mazda. Yes, it has. But now,
Well,
of
you
course,
get both, though.
Brian Holmes, he too may lose out here in terms of time. No, he doesn't, you see. That's the thing. Because the Mustangs managed to get past Holmes on the straight, didn't really lose a lot of time, although Dam gets it slightly wrong into that tight right-hander, and it means it brings it all back together again.
Did look like Holmes had a little lift there because Payton was quite a way behind, so just wanted to let these guys, I think, go through before the corner, hold on to his position.
Made sense though, didn't it? 'Cause
Yeah.
he could get back in line straight away.
Exactly. You don't want to get
Nothing
hit
worse than being
either,
offline,
holding one of these guys up, you know, and they make a little mistake and just nerf you a little bit, and then you sort of have a half spin. Just these guys are too closely matched to be able to come back from that.
Molly Nucci up to third position, got past Mike Griffith, going for the final sector of the last lap. So now the New York up to third position now, 3 positions gained. Griffith down to fourth. That battle's still pretty close as they go through the carousel, the long left-hander.
Yeah, around the outside, looked like it was quite busy with traffic and all the whatnot through there at the time, so that gets the job done.
How far
Yep.
behind's Rob Hartley now? It's about 5 or 6 seconds, isn't it?
8 seconds, I think, from
8
Brian
seconds.
Holmes to Hartley, yeah. Now it was lapping quicker though. To back up the point was 47.6 for Rob Hartley compared to the high 48s for Payton and the mid 48s for Brian Holmes. So if they were to squabble again, Rob Hartley could close that gap down, but with 15 minutes to go, it would be a tough ask, I think.
Just shows how much time you lose getting lapped as well sometimes, you know, because even by cars that are supposedly quicker, that Mikey Grems now then is going to spend the rest of his race under a little bit of pressure from Mike Dam then. Mike Dam, of course, reigning champion. Looking to hang on to his title, but it's a tougher ask for him this season, Adam, than it was even last time.
Yeah, Mike Dam going into this race meeting, third in the championship, only 4 points behind, so it's had a relatively good season so far. In fact, he's the winningest driver, I think. 3 wins to his name as well, so he's got the wins. And with Schiffler down the order, down in 6th position, and Grems battling with him here, really a scrap for who wants to be top of the championship after this race meeting. And it's great to see that only 4/10 of a second separate them after 46 minutes of racing as Kevin Ford gets past Mike Griffith. That looks like Griffith down another position. They're wheel to wheel going into the carousel here. Kevin Ford now back on the outside, and Griffith's able to get back up the inside there on the exit, but you can see Kevin Ford gets a cut back here. League admin trying to get the position here.
One of the best battles we've seen tonight. Griffith versus Ford. See what Kevin does. He takes a slightly wider line in. Tries to get the drive out of there so he can power onto this fast S's section. Go on board with Kevin, Alex, to see how he tackles this S's. You can talk us through it if you like.
Yeah, let's do that. Going it
Probably
practically
got
at the
time
end.
for a lap,
This-
actually.
Yeah, this one here, compromise a little bit to make sure you get the right-hander done. You'd be surprised how much the car pushes through. There's a bit of adverse camber going through there, and of course the wall on the exit, very, very close. Brake hard for this hairpin as well. This is tricky. You got to get the right line just right. It's all about the exit more than anything. Straighten that car up and get on the power. And it looked like to me like Griffith just got a slightly better exit there, even with the draft. Kevin's hardly catching up.
Now onto this very, very tough section up the hill. Even though it's an uphill braking area, Adam, sometimes it's still quite easy to overshoot these fairly tight right-handers.
Yeah, see even the best of the NASCAR drivers in the Monster Cup Series are breaking themselves on restarts, especially when they're double file as well, skating off into the sand on the outside. Apparently, we haven't seen too many restart situations here, but yeah, if you're in the heat of the battle and you're focusing on the car in front and where they're braking, it is very easy to get caught out, and you too could be overshooting going into that right-hander at the top of the hill. So the drivers will need to be aware of that for the rest of the race.
Oh yeah, it's really, really easy to do, and seen it in this race a couple of times, but generally everybody's coped with it well. Kevin Ford getting very, very close again to Mike Griffiths. The gap at the front did slightly grow, Alex, on that previous lap, but it looks like Mike Dam's had quite a good lap here because he's got it down to about half a second again.
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be ebb and flow, isn't it, for the rest of the race? Just 12 minutes, 15 seconds to go.
Not that many laps to get everything done round here. It's about 8 laps, I think, 7 or 8 laps.
12 minutes to go, and it's just over. It's a 105-second lap. Yeah, not too many to go at all. And there you go on the brakes again. 44.5 for Mike Dam. That's a very good lap considering the age of the tyres. And I'll let you on to the race. Looking at the inside, going into the right-hander at the end of the S's. Yeah, Mike Dam really starting to pile on the pressure in the closing 11 minutes.
Next quickest man out there actually is Stephen Thomas it was Stephen Thomas, and then until this lap started, he was in the low 45s. Focusing on the leaders here for a minute, Grems and Dam, and this could be a good opportunity for Mike Dam here. It's Mikey Grems defending the inside, or trying to, and then he leaves it open again.
Yeah, I thought he might sell him a dummy there. Mike Dam was looking to the outside. He could have maybe had a little lunge at the inside, but yeah, definitely thinking about the points that are on offer, of course, because Mikey Grems really has got the hand on the championship lead here as they go through the right-hander. I can tell that Schiffler has got past Ford. We'll hopefully look at that in a moment as Ford is through. In fact, Ford's now losing positions because Thomas, I think Ford is off. He is. He's towed back to the pits. That is a massive shame.
That cloud of smoke that I saw then? Oh no, it wasn't. It wasn't from there. It was from
a blown
else,
engine. It was a blown engine with it.
On the motor.
Oh no.
Oh, he's crashed.
No, he crashed. That's what happened. Sorry, Kevin. He tried to get going again, but the car was already was broken, I think. So with just 10 minutes to go, Kevin Ford retires back to the pits. That's a massive shame, and back to this league battle.
Yeah, he'll no fast repairs in this league either. So they'll be all repairs. He may be able to get back out again, but he's not going to be able to factor into anything into the end of this race. Mike Dam then, Mikey Grems. Grems has been very, very good this season. I believe a newcomer to the series. I don't think he was in this league in previous seasons. He certainly wasn't last season. Coming under a lot of pressure from the man who's probably the gold standard in this league. And Mike Dam's got a great run there, Adam. This could be it.
Yeah, then, like so, the carousel. You can see that Grems covering the inside line. Moves back across, but I'm sure you might have heard in the spotter that Dam may have been getting a bit close for comfort there.
He didn't move across quite as much that time, did he? Alex, this battle is absolutely cracking in this late stage. Mike Dam's getting ever closer.
Yeah, just under 10 minutes to go now, and well, yep. The go time, I think, for Dam. He wants that position back. He knew he made that mistake earlier on. He's got to do the overtake on the track. It's not the easiest place to overtake, I have to say. You really don't get much of a run on anyone, so you are always on the lookout for those little mistakes, or you've got to put the driver ahead under a lot of pressure, and that really is what Dam's doing right now.
Especially in this car as well, with its lack of slipstream compared to the MX-5, although the MX-5 is struggling to get moves done. The lead battle still going at Hunt's managed to get through.
Yeah, Holmes ahead of Peyton. There's a bit of traffic in and around them at the moment, so
We know
one's
when
gonna. Well, that could be an interesting one to the end then.
Only person that we
Oh
lost.
no, wait,
Alex.
that was like that anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah, sorry, it wasn't it?
Only person we lost, Alex, while we were briefly away there was Kevin Ford. Had a crash on the exit of the carousel, so he's no longer in that top 10 position. But
I
yeah,
do apologise for that confusion, because that's my brain turning into soft cheese at this time in the morning. I do apologise. As
I think it's the time and the heat, isn't it?
It's
the
so
brain is
warm.
being melted, isn't it? Yeah.
It is so warm. It's absolutely ridiculous. I've got a fan running, and I've had the window open and everything all night. It just made absolutely no difference whatsoever. As,
You can tell us Brits love going on about the weather.
don't get me wrong, it's been absolutely beautiful, but it's absolutely horrendous to sleep in. As David Payton, well, I thought he might catch Brian Holmes sleeping there and maybe throwing up the inside. And we were just talking, Alex, nobody's really had a go into that double apex corner at the end of the straight, even though it looks like a good overtaking spot.
Yeah, well, you've got to nail that downhill run, haven't you? I think that's the thing. Get it good through there, and then you got the opportunity to run. But it's still a short little shoot. That's the trouble. You don't really pick up enough draft there.
Very much like a bike corner, Adam, isn't it? No, it's something like you would get in MotoGP or something like that, where the corner it doesn't truly open up, but it might have opened up now for David Payton. Brian Holmes, he was on the inside at the exit of the hairpin. He's going to use this effectively a fast double apex kink is the main straight here. I think he's just going to be okay in terms of... Oh, Payton's late on the brakes. Is he going to hit him? It's very close.
Oh, sliding their way through here. Who's this coming up on them?
Payton's got the drive now, and this could be it for him.
Well,
Iannucci. Oh, does he be patient or does he not? Iannucci, it's a difficult one for him.
Brian Holmes now on the offensive.
Not sure how much patience Brian Holmes will have, though, because he'll want to get that lead back before David Payton can establish a rhythm. Or he can get clear.
Not a matter of life and death for Iannucci. He's 20 seconds behind Mike Dam in front, so he can afford to take his time a little bit. Mike Griffith is about 2 seconds away as well from him, so that's
the only issue for him, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the MX-5s are genuinely quicker in parts of this circuit. Iannucci going through then. And that's probably helped Brian Holmes out, Alex, because not got past him in an area really where he's lost him any time.
No, exactly. Just a few tenths there as well, and you can perhaps do a little surprise attack back on David when he goes through. He's able to stay right with them.
He's able to use the slipstream of that Mustang actually to...
I mean, Payton's pulled away through the S's, you definitely see that, but then when we move into the sort of the faster section, he comes back at her. It is funny watching the two sort of ebb and flow around this circuit. Right, he's going to go for a late move? No, he doesn't.
Of course, he doesn't want to affect the leaders in the other category, Iannucci, because he's driven in this series for a long time. Oh, Payton again, sideways coming out the hairpin. That will allow Iannucci the space to go through, and Griffith going through as well on Holmes. That just means that he's going to draw this battle together again, as he nearly drew together with the wall there, Mike Griffith.
Yeah, well, I think Griffith, wanted that run to try and get by both the Mazdas out there.
Holmes.
But, yeah.
Holmes is very close again now, mate.
Here comes Brian Holmes with the Canadian David Payton in front. Canada versus UK and Ireland here, two Commonwealth nations going into battle here.
Then who's going to win that one? And this is what you were talking. This is the corner I was talking about, Adam. It's one of those where it sort of opens up in the middle, but then it tightens slightly again on the exit. And I think that's what's stopping a few people getting a fantastic run off of it.
Plus, you've got to get over to this left-hand side for this quick diversion, as it were. As he got on the brakes again. Who's this coming up behind? This is Tyler Shiflett, who currently sits in 5th position in the Mustangs, now closing in on the two leaders. Just as we look at this, I can tell you that the gap is 0.6 of a second between Dam and Brems in the lead in the Mustangs as well. So the two lead battles still under a second, with Just 3.5 minutes to go and not too many laps left. Looks like that David Payton might just be starting to edge away here in the closing stages. I think Brian Holmes might need a bit of traffic on his side to help him close that gap back up a little bit.
It's going to be yet another really fun finish. We always seem to get them in this series, in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Both classes usually provide some excellent racing, and we've had it today. We've had very, very close action, and it'll keep running for these last 3 minutes.
Imola
versus Dan, well. Payton versus Holmes. Yeah, Imola. That'll be fantastic as well. Be really, really good. That'll be one where the Mustangs will should have a little bit more of an advantage, you would imagine.
Ooh, Payton runs into the dirt.
Dirt and the dust getting kicked up and spewed onto the Sonoma Raceway again. Formerly Sears Point, then it was Infineon Raceway, and now simply Sonoma.
Funny, I didn't think I'd ever be able to sort of switch over to calling it Sonoma. It was always Infineon, but now it actually has stuck, and it is Sonoma now.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's the thing. I was a Sears Point guy. That's what I knew it as, and I didn't. I refused to believe it when it changed the name twice. As Holmes now really, really stalking Payton.
Doing a very good job so far of not hitting the Canadian.
Close this, isn't it?
It's pretty close now. The gap's 2 tenths as we plunge down the hill here. Camera doesn't really do a good job of showing the elevation change, but yeah, a bit of smoke up in front as well. I don't know who kicked all that up, but yeah, here they come through the long left-hander towards the right-hander. It might have been Michael Ruddock because he's towed back to the pits, so it might be a problem for Ruddock late on. Here they come into the hairpin. New cones getting kicked up there. Look how much they cut. Are those tyres on the inside, Alex? Are they solid? If you hit them, will it hit the car or?
Right, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you'll know about it if you hit those.
Getting very close again with the Mustangs as well. Damn, really trying to put the pressure on. 0.4 of a second.
We need like a dual screen here.
Yeah, we need split screen. Quick, Alex, quick.
We'll have to look to see if we can bring that back up again. We did have it, didn't we?
We used to have it, didn't we? But we never really had the need for it, did we, after a while? But yeah, this one, you want to keep an eye on both. What's the official time left, by the way?
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Hey, well, I think
it's fairly close, this, isn't it? Could this be the last lap?
I think this will be the final lap. 20 seconds from here, so I think it's going to take longer than 20 seconds for us to get back to the line.
I think you're right, so this is it then for Mike Dam if he's going to try and get past Mikey Grems. It's been a flawless performance from Grems. Just got one more corner to negotiate flawlessly.
It was just that one mistake for Mike Dam on the exit of this hairpin, wasn't it? And Mikey Grems hasn't looked back from there.
No, he hasn't. And what he will do now is he will look up and he will see the checkered flag. And Mikey Grems is going to take victory at Sonoma. Fantastic performance, really, really good, and like you say, mistake-free. That's exactly what you need. And Mike Dam, a fantastic P2 for him. It's going to be very close here, though. Payton versus Holmes into the hairpin. Then Payton having to defend hard on the inside. Holmes is going to try the long way around. It's very difficult. There's not a lot of grip there. He does get the momentum out of there, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it. Payton covers the inside. I think that's going to be done and dusted. David Payton's going to come across. He's going to win this race.
That's as always.
On into the wall goes Holmes. Oh no.
Probably pure exhaustion there. 10 past 3.
That was a good battle.
Beard and Rathje very, very close as well as they come across the line. And we also just saw as well Iannucci and Griffiths were just ahead of the lead MX-5s, and they were only 0.3 of a second separating those as well. So lots of good little individual battles still right until the very, very last minute. And actually Bateman and Ruddock as well. Really.
Yeah, only 3/10.
Yeah, so
Lauren Bateman caught Russell Ruddock right at the end, but couldn't get through. So Ruddock takes 8th place. And,
Whitworth
very close between Whitworth and... Monaghan, isn't it? Lee?
Yes, it is. Yeah, this is
It'll be Monaghan that takes that one.
11th and 12th. Just waiting for Scott Brooks now.
No, we didn't lose Catila on the last lap. I thought we had. It's just my timing screen not updating properly. But Matthew Catila took 10th place there. And we're just waiting on Scott Brooks. I believe it's just the line. Yes, he does. There he goes.
Rounds out our finishers then. Running through the finishing order then from round 6 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Race victory number 3 of the season for Mikey Grems. Brings him level with Mike Dam in terms of wins this season. And that is 5 top 5s out of 6. Second for Mike Dam with Tyler Shiflett's result. That should elevate him to second. But he will lose a little bit of ground in terms of points to Mikey Grems. Pasquale Iannucci, a welcome return to the podium. Well done for him there. Mike Griffith in 4th, 5th Tyler Shiflett, 6th Stephen Thomas, 7th Scott Kennedy, 8th Russell Ruddock, 9th Lauren Bateman, and 10th for Matthew Catila, 11th for Michael Monaghan, 12th Brandon Whitworth, 13th the Canadian Scott Brooks, followed by the Canadian that won the Mazda MX-5s, David Payton, Brian Holmes in 2nd, Rob Hartley 3rd, 4th is Tom Rathjay with Robert Briss just finishing in and amongst them. Ash Beard 5th in class, 6th Dan Carrido, 7th Chris Dorman, 8th Geordie Fike, Leon Wright, a Mustang there, 23rd overall, 15th in class. Then 9th in the MX-5s is Mike Taylor, 10th is Dave Fitzgerald, 11th Michael Key. Kevin Ford had that crash on the exit, the carousel, finished in 16th in class, 27th overall. Michael Ruddock, problem for him late on. Ryan Tibbetts as well. Kip Stevens didn't get many laps in at all. Neither did Edgar Sanchinelli. He'd been in the pits for a good 36 minutes or so. And Redmond Bader Jr. not taking the start. One of the admins, I believe, in the series.
Right then, thank you very much, Adam. It was a good race, Alex. It was a slow burner, but in the end, we got 2 great battles at the front.
Right to the death, didn't you? You know, brilliant. That's what you want to see. So,
and only 10 seconds after the 1 hour mark had finished as well did Mikey Grems come over the line. You know what? If he'd have had to do an extra lap, it might not have ended so well for him. He was only 4/10 of a second ahead of Mike Dam, so he wouldn't have been wanting to do another lap, and in the end he didn't have to. And a fantastic performance it really was. Second in practice, second in qualifying, but P1 when it mattered, Adam.
Good job, yeah. Driver of a champion there, didn't make too many mistakes and capitalised on the mistake made by Mike Dam on the exit, that hairpin just before the pit stops began. And that Mikey Grems did a very good job, and despite Mike Dam setting the fastest lap of the race in his pursuit of catching Mikey Grems, he wasn't able to do so, and Grems will add to that slender advantage going into Imola next week.
Plenty more to come, of course, from this season in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Several races left, and we're sure it's going to be a fantastic remainder of the season. Do we have anybody waiting for an interview? We do indeed, and we're going to have the man who reached the top step of the podium is waiting for us. I think David Payton. Alex, I don't know if you can grab him. Let me do it. The man who reached the top step of the podium in a very, very hard-fought battle is David Payton. And David, can you hear me?
I can. Good to be here.
Welcome to the commentary box. I don't know if we spoke to you many times before, but a hard-fought race. And is that the most difficult battle you've had in this series so far?
I wouldn't say it's the most difficult, but it's definitely up there in the top 5. And I'm just sweating. Brian was all over me that whole race.
It is warm. It seems like it's warm everywhere at the minute. Everybody who you talk to seems to be sort of lamenting the heat. But you withstood the heat. You took the victory. And one thing that we saw that was interesting halfway through the race was that the Mustangs were coming through to lap, and you guys were obviously a little bit quicker in the corners. So how difficult was that to pick and choose the right time for to allow those guys through?
It was difficult. I had to make a decision there. I couldn't be nice to those Mustangs coming through. Brian and I were fighting hard. I wasn't going to give the Mustangs any room going through, because I knew if they split us up, I'd never get back on the back of Brian.
So into Imola next, and Well, what are your thoughts on that circuit? Have you done many laps around there before?
I have. I enjoy Imola. Another good draft track. I enjoy the draft tracks in this car. Sonoma isn't one of my favorite tracks, but I seem to do well here. But yeah, looking forward to Imola.
What is it about this track that's the challenging then? I mean, on the face of it, it's probably the elevation changes. Would that be fair?
Well, that's part of it too, and it's a very technical track. You have to hit your marks all the time. It's very hard on the tires. It's very hard to make a pass at this track as well.
Yeah, we noticed that out there. Overtaking was very, very difficult, but you managed to get it done and managed to take a win. Before you go, mate, is there anybody who you'd like to say a quick thank you to, or any sponsors, team members, people like that?
Yeah, I'd just like to say thank you to Ricmotech for sponsoring this series, Extreme Motorsports, Kevin Ford, Jeff Jacobs, admins of the series. Those guys do a fantastic job. All the guys racing in the league, what a fantastic league, great bunch of guys. And a big thank you to you guys at Apex Racing TV. I know it's early in the morning for you, so thank you for staying up late or getting up early. You guys do a fantastic job.
It's a bit of both, David. Is that it's kind of sometimes we need to go to sleep first and then wake up and then go back to sleep again. So yeah, it's one of those interesting ones. But no, it's an absolute pleasure to do these races, and yeah, I want to congratulate you on a really hard fought win.
Thanks very much, guys.
Cheers, David.
Take care.
And we're joined in the commentary box by Brian Holmes, and he's with our very own Adam Bath.
Well, Brian Holmes, that was considering how late it was and how hot it was, I presume you're pretty exhausted after that fight with David Payton.
Yeah, absolutely, Drew.
Yeah,
Race with David at the end.
Yeah, I bet. With the traffic as well, and with the Sonoma Raceway not being too forgiving in terms of the traffic, you really had to make sure that you were right on Payton's, right on the rear end of David Payton through the rest of the race.
Sonoma's such a difficult track to let people through, but I think we did a good job letting the guys through. And like I said, as I let them through, David seemed to let them through as well, so we didn't seem to lose too much time on each other. But it worked out alright in the end.
You didn't have your right-hand men in your team in Rob Hartley and Ash Beard too far near you today. Did that have much of an impact on the race, or did it not really have an issue with that?
Probably made me relax a little bit more.
Well, okay, yeah. Next week, I think we go to a pretty different track, Imola, back in Europe. And yeah, how do you think the Mazda MX-5 is going to go around there? I think it's a track that we've seen the car race round quite recently.
Yeah, I think we did it in the BSR, but yeah, I really do like him. We're looking forward to it. I wasn't too keen on Sonoma first time I raced the track today, so get a second place, I'm really happy.
And not too far off the championship lead as well. You were fourth in the points in the MX-5s going into this one. Have you set yourself a target for the rest of the season?
If I can finish in top 5 with these guys, I'll be very happy, Adam.
Brilliant. Well, before we let you go, do you want to send a quick shout out to anybody?
Yeah, quick thanks to Kevin and Jeff for the Extreme guys, being such a professional league. It really is great to run in this league. The racing so close, and to the team basically, rest of the team.
Well done on the second place. Go cool down, go get some sleep, and yeah, hopefully we'll see you next week at Imola.
Yeah.
That's if it's even possible to cool down. Brian Holmes not too keen on Sonoma, but Sonoma obviously agrees with him very, very well. And now Alex has got our reigning champion. Mike Dam joins us now in the commentary box.
Hey guys.
Mike, welcome to the booth. What can we say about your race today? Almost perfect. One little mistake. Do you think that cost you the win?
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's super hard to pass here. There's unless the guy ahead of you makes a mistake, you're not passing. So, yeah, that one mistake let Mikey through, but he was putting on the pressure, so I wouldn't have made the mistake if he wasn't right on my tail.
And that was just you getting on the gas just a little bit early, lit up the rears, and nothing really you could do there.
I barely touched it, and it just must have had my my right rear on the rumble strip or something.
Yes. So, what makes it so difficult to overtake around this circuit?
Well, it seems like every corner almost sets up the next one, so there's no real straightaway to make a pass on, except for maybe coming out of that left-hand sweeper. But Mikey was strong through there. I couldn't get a run on him. So, yeah, it's just they're tight corners mixed with long corners, but there's no real breaks in the track. So unless the guy makes a mistake in front of you, it's hard to get a run.
Well, P2 is still a good result, though. It does works well for the championship, closes you up just a little bit to the guys ahead of you. So, all in all, still a good day.
Yeah, that was a really awesome race. Mikey put on a real good show, and he had the pace. So I'm happy with second, and we'll move on from here.
Cool stuff. Right, all right, mate. Before we let you go, the usual, just give us a quick shout out.
Yeah, thanks to Frank at Ricmotech for sponsoring our series and allowing you guys to broadcast for us. I'd like to thank the admins, especially Kevin. He was doing it alone tonight, so he did a great job, and we had a really smooth race with no incidents. So I'd also like to thank all the drivers that make this series what it is. It wouldn't be the same without them. So yeah.
Cool. Thanks, mate. Have a good one. We'll catch you next week.
You too.
All right, guys.
All right. Thank you very much, Alex and Adam, for those great interviews. And yeah, it's that concludes the action then from our broadcast from Sonoma. So thank you everybody for watching. We're going to be back next week, same time, same place. Hopefully it's a little bit cooler when we visit the Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari in Imola next week. But for now, we'll see you later. Yeah, go and cool down, go and get some sleep, and we'll catch you for the Formula Renault.
Focus, determination, passion, stamina, and the will to win. The end result, the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Extreme Motorsports brings you the Ricmotech Sports Car Series, brought to you by Ricmotech High Performance Sim Racing Equipment, and in part by TD's Tree Service. Live coverage Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern.